Thank you. Thank you. I'd like to begin by thanking Mother Mary Kate, the vestry, and of course, Chancellor DeStefano. It is a great honor to address you today, and I am humbled to be the commencement speaker for the class of 2020. These are unprecedented times. And for you graduates out there, I cannot imagine that this is what you thought your commencement would look like. And with you, I grieve the lost opportunity for ritual to appropriately mark the end of this important chapter of your lives. And so I thought perhaps the most helpful thing that I could do would be to give you a taste this morning of exactly what it is you're missing out on. First, the commencement platitude. Graduates, let me take this opportunity to remind you that you are the future, that today is not an ending, but a beginning. And like the generations that have come before you, I encourage you to pursue your passion, that you are called to be true to yourself, to get out of your comfort zone. And so as you embark on this next phase of your journey, know that the future belongs to you. So in conclusion, I'd like to quote the Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Maya Angelou, Dr. Seuss. Darkness cannot drive out darkness. Only light can do that. Be the change you want to see in the world. People will forget what you said. People will forget what you did, but they will not forget how you made them feel. And finally, oh, the places you'll go. Whew. See? You're hardly missing anything. We got through a typical commencement speech in record time, and you didn't have to sit in the withering heat or the snow in the football stadium for hours without the chance to even walk, and we avoided the obnoxious family with the air horn. The gospel today comes from Jesus' farewell discourse in John. It's kind of like Jesus' commencement address to the disciples. And these disciples find themselves in a similar place to the rest of us. They're about to embark on the next phase in their journeys, and they face an immediate and uncertain future. And looking forward, all we really know is that the future will not be like the past, and it will not be like the present. And in this moment, what I want Jesus to say, and what I want to say to you, is that everything is going to be okay. I want to say that, like Philip, begging and pleading, that's what I want to hear Jesus say. But Jesus doesn't, and I can't. Stephen is a reminder that in the new normal, everything will not be okay. There will be many parts of the past that we wish to leave behind, but persist and follow us into the future. Stephen is stoned. Ahmad is murdered. And our loved ones die unnecessarily to an indiscriminate and unjust virus. And yet, if we can suss through John's word soup about exactly who is in who and which one of these divine beings we must believe in, Jesus does offer promise to the disciples and to graduates of a life with Christ. I think the assurance Jesus is offering us today is that it will be okay. Maybe not everything, but it will be okay. It is not the promise of a future free from brokenness and unfulfilled dreams. Rather, it is the promise that in that pain we will be held. We will be held inside the literal body of Christ, held together by one another, by the mosaic of faces you see on the screen, by the hands of God that have always been at work in the labs and hospitals and grocery stores. It is perhaps most importantly the promise of the work. It's the promise that while our faith and doubt will come and go, while our lives will be marked by bravery and cowardice, the work of God will continue. The work of God, the healing, the feeding, the protecting of the vulnerable and the oppressed, it will continue to dwell here among us, among the tragically beautiful people of God. This morning, I do not have any new and life-changing insights to impart to our graduates. Instead, I will repeat words that no doubt they have heard me say many, many times. You see, our campus ministry, Bread and Belonging, is particularly good at doing two things. One, we offer a completely unique ministry of belonging. We proclaim to students the good news that we belong to God first, and so we belong to one another first, before we have to prove anything to ourselves, to one another or to God. And two, our ministry is rooted in helping students understand that their lives, the whole thing, the school, the work, the churchy parts, it's all a critical part of God's work in the world. So my charge to our graduates and to all of us today is simple. Go forth to hold and be held, to do what you can to be the hands of God at work in the world, wherever that path might take you.